What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, it's honestly a video that I never thought I would have to make, definitely never wanted to make, but at this point I have like no option. I do want to speak up about what's going on, and that is why I'm making this video today. If you don't know what's going on, I will fill you in. I have some notes on my phone just because I wanted, before making this video, I want to get my point across like as clear as possible. I don't want to miss or leave anything out. So I did write some notes down. So I will be checking. Everything is not scripted, it's just like some key point notes. So recently I got word that my ex is talking about me, and not in a good way. I honestly expected this to happen when I started noticing the differences in our healings. When I started noticing that, you know, I was more at peace than him. I was expecting for, you know, the resentment and anger to come, and then for him to come after me in some way. So he is trying to slander my name and say things that are either one, not true, or two, an exaggerate of his emotions and how he's feeling about me right now. To be honest, I know that I can't, you know, make people understand everything that really went on. The only people who really know what happened in our relationship is me and him, and you know, if you're gonna spread false things about that, well then but I was always more open with you guys. I was always an open book, and honestly, like, I was too open at times. So because of that, I do want to sit here and explain to you guys the facts, like the stuff that you already know, which is, you know, I guess I'm gonna take it way back to the beginning. When I got with him, I was 15 years old. I had anxiety. I suffered from anxiety and depression, and I had also just a couple months prior gotten out of an abusive relationship. So I was definitely not ready to get in another relationship. And instead of seeking a boyfriend at 15, I definitely should have sought a therapist instead. But I got in this relationship and I thought, you know what, this could be a really great thing in my life. The reason that I'm bringing this up is because it's a big part of why we had to end things, and you know, why like there was healing needed to be done, and like it was not happening in this relationship, and I needed to finally go and heal myself. During our relationship, we both did things in the beginning that at the end definitely ruined us. You know, it definitely like came back to haunt us, you know, and definitely started to make us a bit toxic and all of that towards each other, because there was a lot of forgiveness that had to be earned and healing that had to be done and all of that. He was 14 and he did not know how to have a girlfriend who suffered from mental illness, and I didn't know how to be in a relationship while suffering from mental illness. And it was just like no one's fault. Definitely don't blame anyone for that. We both didn't know what we were doing. We just knew we liked each other and we wanted to make it work in any way that we could. At first, I do believe that he was trying to help. At the end, it did end up worsening things. And when I started noticing, you know, the frustration that he could not heal me, I started noticing him kind of breaking as well. I started to panic and I was like, oh my god, I have to do everything that I could possibly do to make him happy. I went as far as helping him graduate early, as helping him enroll in college, helping him make money. You know, I worked very hard on YouTube and gave him half of the checks. I was like, I'm just gonna do whatever I can do. And that was a big mistake, because that little care that I had for myself, that little care that was left, I gave it away. And so there was absolutely nothing left for me. We both definitely got into this relationship very young, and I think what kept us in this relationship was that we were both very brainwashed into believing that we were soulmates. You know, like there were so many things that we were like, it had to be fate, you know. And then we got each other's names tattooed at just 3 months, and like things like that were happening. So we were like, we're soulmates. Like, so that mindset kind of kept us there, even when there was definitely moments where we should have broken up. You know, the mindset of like, but we're soulmates kind of kept us together. That is a very dangerous mindset to have, you know, that there's only one person for you, and that is it. That's the person you have to end up with and put up with whatever so that you can stay with them. But as I mentioned before, I was in an abusive relationship prior to this relationship. And in that relationship, I made a rule to myself that the next time I'm in an abusive relationship, I'm gonna fight back. I'm not going to sit there and take, you know, emotional abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, or none of that. Like, I am definitely gonna defend myself this time, because the first time I did not defend myself. I was helpless and just let this person just kick me down and did absolutely nothing. Over the years in this relationship, everything took a toll, everything caught up, and that is when the abuse started happening. I will sit here and admit that I did fight back. You know, I did not sit there and not fight back. To me, I didn't really think that it was, you know, as bad as it was, because all I knew was the previous relationship where I was getting abused, but it was just like one-sided, or this relationship where it was like, you know, just like both of us were kind of doing it. So it's maybe a little bit more okay, you know, because I'm not just sitting there taking it anymore. So after getting out of this relationship though, now I realized like there was so much more abuse than I thought. There was definitely a lot of emotional abuse going on as well. But you know, in the span of 7 years, it getting worse instead of better, that kind of shows a lot as to what I was getting out of this relationship, and how it was definitely like the worst thing that could have happened for me. Now, I'm not gonna go into much detail about stories and things and actual situations, because honestly, this is stuff that I still need to work on. Like, I still haven't worked on 100%. I'm still going through it, and so because of that, I can't just sit here and just talk about it like nothing, you know. It's a process. But I am gonna admit, you know, right now on camera, our relationship was toxic, and it was abusive, and it was bad for the both of us, and ending it was the absolute best thing that could have happened. And if you're wondering, you know, oh, why didn't you mention this before? Like I said, I was still working on it, and you know, the first couple months I was also still very brainwashed into believing that it wasn't as bad as I was like thought that it was. It wasn't until getting like an outside look and really like take all these months, like literally time had to go by for me to realize like, oh shit, like yeah, it was bad. Especially because the thing about, you know, relationships like that is that when they're bad, yeah, things are really bad, but when things are good, they are like amazing. Like you feel on top of the world, which is the moments that you guys saw. And which is why, you know, if you're thinking right now, oh my gosh, so y'all lied to us, like, yo, we're not happy or whatever. Like, no, there were definitely moments where, you know, where it was so easy to believe like, okay, I'm happy, like this is what I want, this is what I want forever, I want to marry this guy. And then there were those low moments where I was like, never gonna marry this person, like I can't, like it just can't happen. So if you guys are wondering like, okay, why didn't you come out here and say this or whatever, like I said, one, I don't owe explanations of my personal trauma, you know, out there. I don't owe anyone that. But also I was still brainwashed as well and had to work through a lot of that. And also I didn't know, a lot of the time I didn't know that it was as bad as it was. So I couldn't tell you guys something that I didn't even know yet, that, you know, I hadn't even processed yet. So I decided, you know, to just tell you guys we broke up because we needed healing, which is definitely true as well. But the part of what I needed the healing from, I did not want to go into much detail about that. I didn't want to disrespect my ex in any way. Also, despite everything that happened to me as well in this relationship, I still, till this moment, don't want to disrespect and sit there and like bash and this and all of that. I just don't. Like, I'm at such a peaceful place in my life right now that I don't need to do that, like to feel good about myself. I don't need any of that. When we broke up, I was still brainwashed into believing that us staying friends would be a really good idea. Because of that, you know, we broke up on February 10th, and then we still hung out on Valentine's Day, February 14th. We went on a trip to Vegas, February the 20 something. Even on my birthday, March 4th, it was already almost a month since the breakup. He spent my entire birthday with me and then told me to spend his with him. After speaking to my therapist and a lot of people in my life, I was realizing that I wasn't healing. In fact, I was kind of getting worse by keeping contact with him. So I decided to cut off contact and break the let's stay friends rule. We ended on good terms. We told each other, hey, let's both go heal and all of this stuff. But then when I started breaking the let's not be friends rule is when I was like, maybe I might anger him in some way. So when I dropped contact with him, even though it was hard at first, especially with his messages coming in, it was the most freeing thing that I had ever felt. I actually started growing and I started healing like so fast. The healing just started coming and it started happening faster and faster, and I wanted more of that healing, more of that freedom, more of that taste. So the next thing I did was, I did not want to have him on social media, but I didn't know how to tell him because, you know, the rule was also, you know, he told me let's keep each other on social media and that's it. So I thought, you know, if I post a picture with my new guy, maybe he'll take me off, you know, because that was mentioned too. So I did do that, you know, and I didn't think like also like, fuck, this might get him angry too, but I did that. And then after that, you know, the next morning I woke up, and he had blocked me off social media, which to me was another moment of freedom. You know, I took a deep breath and I went to my mom and I was like, I officially don't have him on social media no more. Like, I feel good, I feel amazing. And I loved that feeling of freedom. The last time that I spoke to him was whenever he had texted twice to come to my house, and then the last time that he texted, I told him to contact my mom, not me anymore. He wanted to pick up something and I said I would leave it in the mailbox for him to please just text my mom, you know, and not me anymore. So after that, I blocked his phone number. And that was just another thing that I was like, I feel so much freedom for. Like, I feel free now, you know, now his number's blocked and now I don't have to worry about anything. Like, you know, I'm texting him, calling him, nothing, like him just popping back in. Like, I can really start to move forward. So when he went to go pick up the stuff, I left everything in the mailbox so he could never ever have to come over again. You know, his passport, diploma, like everything just there in the mailbox. And that was the last time that he went over to my house. So after that, you know, I continued my healing and growth process, and it was amazing. I did still receive private calls, but I ignored them. I was not trying to let anyone disturb my peace anymore. Over the course of the next few months after that, as you guys know, you guys definitely know, and you're witnessing, you guys tell me all the time, which I thank you so much for that you notice my healing, you notice my growth, you notice my happiness, you notice this new vibe, this new energy that I give off and all of that. And first of all, those are the best compliments that somebody could fucking receive, is like, you look so much happier and all of that. Like, I love those compliments. Over the course of this healing and, you know, being happy, and I'm definitely not trying to hide the fact that I'm happy, I want to share it with everyone. Being so happy and being so at peace, it's bound to upset someone who is not in that place as you. Which is why, like I said, I expected for this to eventually happen. His way of taking that out on me is by, you know, trying to say things about me, trying to do that, you know. His drunk text didn't work, his visits to my house didn't work, his private calls weren't getting answered. The very next thing I knew was coming was this. But I do want to mention right now, like, on camera, I will never apologize for being happy. I will never apologize for being at peace. I will never apologize for doing what's best for me, like, ever. No one will get an apology for that. I don't care who it is. The absolutely most beautiful thing in the world is when somebody finally finds that self-love that they were missing for so fucking long, and I found that and will never apologize for finding it. It has been half a year since we broke up, honestly, like literally already almost 6 months. I have healed and grown so much that I don't even think about that relationship anymore. To be completely honest, days, weeks, months go by and I'm just like, don't think about it at all, which is amazing because that shows how much I've healed and grown from it. But, you know, him coming out 6 months later, still trying to talk, still letting out a little anger here and there, it shows a lot of how much he's failing to grow. So because of that, I did call him and I did make a visit to his house before filming this video because I did want to see him and talk to him in person. And if you guys are thinking, okay, so y'all were bad for each other, like, why would you go to his house? To be completely honest, I was in the neighborhood and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this before things get ugly. I'm gonna just give him like one last chance to talk to me. I'll give him the closure he seeks, if he seeks any at all, and I'm just gonna let him know, you know, that it doesn't have to be like this. Like, it definitely doesn't have to be ugly and messy. So I did go to his house and we did talk, and I basically told him, you know, what I'm telling you guys, like, it's been 6 months, like, can you just leave me alone? Can you just stop talking about me? Can you just, you know, you don't have to make this video, it's pointless. Like, anything you have to say, you can tell me in person. And I also did tell him, if you do, like, you know that I'm gonna have to also mention what you did. And this was the first time that I confronted him and told him, you know, you were very abusive in many ways, and I would have to go out and say that. And he said that he would say that, he would mention it, but, you know, I don't know to believe him or not. But I did tell him that, and then honestly, like, after it got to a point where I didn't even care anymore. I was like, you know what, I don't care, like, post the video or not, like, I just want to, like, talk about you. Like, I am wishing the very best for you, and I hope someday that you find the peace that I found, because it's such a beautiful peace to be at. I told him that I wish him healing, that I wish him happiness, and despite everything, no matter what, like, was done to me in that relationship as well, I do not wish him the worst, and I'm just gonna wish peace and happiness on him and everything. I tried to help, I tried to give advice. I told him, you know, what I did. I told him about the therapy and all of that. I even offered a hug, you know, because I was like, in case you need one, like I just want you to know, like, I am at such peace right now, and you can be there too, you know. It doesn't have to be like this. It's been 6 months. I told him that I moved on, and like, I'm not sorry for that. I've grown. I even asked him, you know, are you trying to make a video just so that you could get some money, like, and fame from it? And he didn't deny it. In fact, he admitted it and said, yeah, like, that was a big reason why he was doing this video, which is very wrong, and honestly showed me true colors that I definitely needed to see. And you know, from what I'm hearing from you guys and from messages, is that he also is asking for handouts. He's asking for money to buy a camera and a laptop, simply so he can make videos, you know, talking about me, which is, to me, not a good thing. I feel like, you know, there's so many fundraisers and things like that that we should share with a platform, if anything, not ask for money for us for things like that, material things, but to each their own. That was how that conversation went. I just wanted to sit there and like actually tell him before I came out here and did this. This visit was also a growing moment for me, and I took it as a moment for me to see how much I've grown and how much I've healed, because I sat there, and as someone was looking at me very angry for my healing, I wished only healing and peace for them. And to me, that was a moment where I showed myself, like, you really are grown, you really have healed, and you really are like moving on. Like, not all talk, like, it's real, like, you have a good heart. But if I'm being completely honest with you guys, and I'm just gonna like be here and say it, there is nothing that I dislike more than a man who cannot stand to watch a woman grow and do better without him. Like, I'm definitely with the mindset of, you know, be happy, and if us not being together is you being happy, then fucking go for it. Just be happy, you know, never wishing sadness or unhappiness on anybody. But I'm gonna let him say what he wants, and I'm gonna let him do what he wants. And honestly, like, there's nothing I can do to stop him from saying whatever he wants to say. All I can do is tell you guys, my real true supporters, that I am at peace, and I'm not gonna let anyone disturb this peace. I decided to take this as a moment to be an inspiration, and what I mean by that is, I know that a lot of people go through this. I know that a lot of people go through, you know, when you have your ex and then they start saying things about you or slandering you or talking about you in school to people or saying this and that about you or whatever, and you start feeling like, oh my god, like, I want to die, or I just want people to believe me and understand that what he's saying is not true or whatever. I'm gonna be one of the first to say, fuck that, fuck what they say, let them say whatever they want to say. You know, at the end of the day, the universe, karma, everything will work itself out. You just keep doing you just keep growing. Don't ever worry about what other people think, because you can't control everyone's thoughts. So I'm telling you guys right now, if you are dealing with that, like, fuck what anybody has to say about you. Honestly, you know who you are, you know who the real you is, and that's all that matters. If you're a good person, like, inside and out, that's all that matters. I'm gonna let, you know, anybody go through the roof with whatever they want to say about me. I'm gonna let them talk and talk and talk and talk, and I'm just gonna sit here and continue to be at peace. Honestly, people can say whatever they want, and if people want to believe, then they can fucking believe. Anybody, like, whatever. Honestly, my true, like I said, my true supporters, like, y'all know, I get messages all the time, and y'all tell me, you know, things that y'all can see, you know, letting me know. And as my king Post Malone always says, the reason I got this tattoo right here on my middle finger: live your dream, live your truth, live your life. Don't let anyone hold you back. I do want to leave you guys with this. This is something that my therapist said to, you know, help me understand and realize that I was not the monster that I was painted out to believe that I was. After leaving this relationship, I grew, healed, blossomed, literally. And that shows a lot of what the problem was, you know, this freedom, and that shows how caged I was and how caged I felt. There is not a bone in my body, a hair on this head that wants to go back, ever. I am so glad that I got out, and I never want to go back again. I'm not gonna lie, one of the hardest things for me to have to work through was forgiving myself for getting into a second abusive relationship. I didn't understand why I would do that twice, and because of that, I had to really work on, like, forgiving myself and not being so hard on myself. But I realized, you know, that if you have absolutely no self-love, then you are going to continue the pattern of letting people mistreat you, because you don't even treat yourself good. So you're gonna let other people, when they mistreat you, you're gonna sit there and put up with it, which is why self-love is the most important love, the only love that counts. I am happy and proud to announce that I will never be in an abusive relationship again, because now I love myself and I have so much self-love. So that would never ever happen again. All of my real supporters, I know you guys, you know, I want to thank you so much for following me on this journey. It's definitely not over. There's so much good to come. I didn't want any negativity or bad energy like videos here on my channel, which is why, even though I am making this video, I'm gonna use it as a moment to just inspire, if any, just one person, like one's enough honestly for me, to kind of just not care what people think or say about you. I understand that, you know, a lot of people will not be happy for your growth. A lot of people will try to stop it, but that doesn't fucking matter. What matters is you continuing your growth, and I am continuing mine to the end of fucking time, because I'm loving it. I am still happy. I'm still at peace regardless of all of this stuff that's happening. I know that I still didn't go into, you know, detail, and I honestly don't know if I ever will. There's so much from my even past relationship that I've never mentioned online. And that's because like I said, it's things that are not just easy to come on here and talk about, you know. It's shit that I literally don't even talk to my mom about, like stuff that you just, you know, things that I went through, things that I go through, to me is not like, oh, like I should use it for a source of entertainment. I don't want to do that. I'm gonna leave this on the note of, if you are in an abusive relationship, or a toxic one, not even just abusive, if you're in a toxic relationship, and you feel like you can't get out of it, or you don't know how to get out of it, definitely speak to someone. Please do not deal with it alone. I dealt with all of it alone. I didn't want to tell nobody anything that was going on. I know that there are good moments and there are happy moments, moments where you feel like it's not that bad, but it is that bad, and you should definitely get out of it. And there are so many different people and places and numbers you can call and things so that you can get out of it. I'm gonna leave in the description below links to hotlines and all of that you could call if you want to speak to someone. I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, you deserve happiness. And if you're in a relationship that is bringing you sadness, you're in the wrong relationship. A relationship is supposed to uplift you, and if it's not happening, then you're in the wrong relationship. And I do want to end this on a positive note. So on that note, in a couple of days I'm going to Cabo, and I'm going to be vlogging the trip for you guys. I'm going to try to vlog it as good as I can vlog it. So that will be the next video that you guys see, my trip to Cabo. I apologize for, you know, not going into too much detail, but there are some things like you have to understand that I cannot talk about literally without getting like anxiety. I already was kind of getting it like a little bit during this video, but I'm working on it. I'm working through it. I am happy. My true supporters, y'all see that. Y'all see that shit. Y'all message me all the time. If you do want to message me and you just want to talk to me, or you want some advice or whatever about your own relationship and stuff, definitely message me on Instagram. I try to DM as many people back as I possibly can. I love you guys so much. Thanks for sticking around with me. Thanks for being here, you know, through my worst days and now here during my best days. I appreciate that so much. I love you guys with all my heart. And for all of you who are worried about me, you know, messaging me, telling me like, please don't let this bring you down, don't worry guys, I'm not letting it bring me down. I am still up here, and I will continue to be up there, if not go higher. And to all of you people who are healing from breakups, keep healing, keep doing you, keep doing your thing. To all of the shitty exes who are there trying to bring them down, honestly, go heal yourself. Like seriously, go heal yourself. All the energy you're wasting on trying to bring someone down, you could be putting into your healing. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time.